Maybe one or
ready
two
to
more
defuse
fights.
that bomb. Diffuse and extinguish. They're the two words for the bronze bomber.
Tyson, what do you say to the people that feel that you may not be ready, that you should have taken another tune-up fight? What do you say to those people?
There's always going to be naysayers and negative people. And really, I'm not really interested in what negativity has to do. It's all about being positive for me in my life. I've had too much negativity, too many hard times coming through. So all I want is positive people around me. I don't have any negativity in my camp, and I don't listen to any negativity. Because there's always someone somewhere who says that you can't. But I'm living proof that you can. You can achieve anything you want to if you will it enough, and if you dedicate enough, and if you sacrifice enough.
Tyson, what are your goals in boxing? You've become the linear champion, you're fighting for the WBC. Ultimately, what do you want to accomplish in the sport?
I want to win the WBC and finish my collection of belts off, because that's the only world title boxing belt I didn't win. And now I've got the opportunity to take it with both hands and going to put on a great display and take that belt home.
Do you plan to defend it for a while?
100%. Whoever it's against next, I'll defend it, and then we'll see what happens from there.
What kind of training are you doing with this fight, and what kind of sparring is involved? Are you with any of the heavy hitters?
Yeah, I'm going over to Big Bear, California, and I'm going to be wrestling with bears. And that's my new method of training to prepare me for a strong Deontay Wilder. So if we can get the better of them bears wrestling them, then we'll get the better of him.
Tyson, he obviously boxes in a very unconventional way. How do you assess his boxing style?
He is what his name says. He says it on the tin what he does. He's very wild. I think he's got underestimated boxing. I think his boxing skill is better than people give him credit for. But you need more than a big punch to beat somebody like me. Like I said with Wladimir, I don't need to keep banging on about it, but I did say that he needs more than a 1-2 to beat me. And Deontay Wilder needs more than a big punch to beat me. Because there's been massive punches before, and we've seen them be outboxed before by the likes of Larry Holmes and Ernie Shavers. Ernie Shavers one of the biggest heavyweight punchers in the century of boxing, in heavyweights. But he didn't beat Holmes. Holmes just jabbed and moved and beat him up quite comfortable. And that's what I'm going to do to Wilder. I'm going to stick and move, stick and move, stick and move, and then BAM! He ain't even going to see it. But he's going to be begging for it. He'll be begging to get knocked out after a while, because he'll jack in his mind, he'll quit, and he'll think, you know what, I'm looking a fool here, I'm not knocking anybody out, can't land any punches, just knock me out please, and I'll oblige. I'll detonate a big right hand off his jaw, and we're going to see him on the floor. I'm going to stand over him and say, I told you so, I told you.
How much more gratifying would it be for you to knock him out than to eat him on points?
Listen, a win's a win, whether it comes on points, whether it comes by a split decision, or whether it comes by a TKO, or a first round knockout, or whatever. Winning is winning, and that's all I really care about, is winning. I'm undefeated in 10 years as a professional. I've took on all comers in my career. I'm not in boxing to have a 100-0 record. I'm not in boxing to do anything other than fight the best of my era. Because, let's face it, I've won 5 world titles, lineal heavyweight champion, I'm unbeaten. I already retired once. Retired as only the 2nd heavyweight champion in history to retire unbeaten behind Rocky Marciano. So I have all that behind me. But this time I've had a second career. I've come back against all the odds. And I'm here to be the best. And if I can't be the best, then I don't want to be the rest. Second place ain't for me, and third place definitely ain't for me. But Deontay Wilder is happy to come in the top 3. That's why he calls himself the bronze bomber, because of his bronze medal in the Olympics. I'd throw that bronze medal in the bin, because I didn't win a gold. So, for me, it's about being the best, number 1. For other fighters, it's just about being on the podium, being in the top 3. So if he can mix it with the big boys and be there mentioned with the best, then no problem. But after this fight, I've told him, I'm going to get him to hire me so I can be his promoter and bring him back. Because I believe I can do an excellent job with Deontay Wilder. After I've outboxed him very comfortably, and stopped him on the first, then I'm going to bring him back. Because I know he can beat most of the other guys, if not all of them, but he just can't beat me. And not that it's a bad thing to lose to somebody like me, but he definitely can't beat me. I don't know if any of you study body language or anything, but Deontay Wilder's body language around me says he's very nervous, he's very on edge, he feels the pressure, he feels big time boxing pressure, and all eyes are on him. I've got nothing to lose. I'm bulletproof. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet. No, listen, he can fire away and it's just going to ricochet because I'm bulletproof. After everything I've been through, mental health problems, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, I'm back. I've defeated all the odds. How am I going to let somebody beat me with a pair of boxing gloves on? I will overcome Deontay Wilder. I will force my will upon him until he quits.
Tyson, Frank Warren has stated that the heavyweight division that you're in, he calls it the international era. What would you name this era of the heavyweight division, Tyson?
My era.
Your era.
Definitely. This is my time. I'm the lineal heavyweight champion. I beat Klitschko for a reason. And as far as I can see it, none of these guys can beat me.
You know, in retrospect, when you became the unified heavyweight champion, the main goal that everybody's seen was for you to beat Wilder and you could proclaim the #1 spot. You beating Wilder, can you say you could retire happily if, let's say, you call it a career?
Listen, I've only just turned 30, so
Okay.
there's nothing else out there for me other than fighting. I was born and raised to fight. Ever from being a little child, I boxed, punched, fought. It's bred in me. It's my family. Both sides of the family are all fighters. We don't know anything else. I'm not the type of man who's going to run around in a flash car with my arm out the window. I've been there, done all that. All I do is put weight on and go depressed. And I'll end up probably suicidal again if I did that. I need boxing. No boxing, no life. That's how I feel about boxing. Boxing is my passion. It's my love affair. I'm cheating on my wife every day with boxing. That's how much I love boxing. I really, really, really have a passion for boxing. I love getting punched. I love slipping punches. I love being in there. And not a lot of fighters can ever say that that's the case. A lot of fighters just do it for money or fame or glory. None of that matters. Because if they said, we're not getting paid for this fight, I still want to fight. Because I want to fight the best. And I believe, at this present moment, Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight in the world, barring none. I'm going to come back and beat him. And it's going to be one of the great comebacks of our century.
Tyson, lastly, if you had to compare your fight with Wilder with the richest heavyweight fight, you know, in history, how would you compare this fight to, like, Frank Warren has mentioned, Louis Klitschko? What about you? What do you say?
It's a great fight. Louis Klitschko was held in the Staples Center too. So let's hope we can have a great fight like they did and come out swinging from round one.
Tyson Fury, why the fight over here in the US and not in the UK, which is your backyard?
Yeah, because I'm a big believer in if you want to go on and be the best in any sports, you've got to come to America and break America to do it. I can sell out arenas in America, in England. 20,000, 30,000, I'd have probably sold 80,000 tickets if we'd have come to Manchester and fought at Old Trafford. But I'm not about staying in my comfort zone. I want to go behind enemy lines and fight the best in their country, like I've done before, time and time again. It makes it almost the sweeter going to their country and beating them. And that's why I want to come to America and beat Deontay Wilder.
Would you feel a little bit, probably uncomfortable, like when you're coming over here and, basically Wilder is going to have all the fans over here from the US?
I don't believe that. Wilder has no fans and it don't sound like it outside. I've got all Deontay Wilder's fans. Without Tyson Fury, there is no Deontay Wilder. Every good boxer needs a dance partner. And without me, Deontay Wilder ain't in no big fights. Because the other idiot don't want to fight him, the other so-called world champion. So who's he going to fight? Somebody that people don't know. Without Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder doesn't have an error. So he better be thanking me for giving him this opportunity so he can become somebody, a Tyson Fury opponent. But coming over to people's backyards and fighting them in their own countries, I enjoy going on the road. I'm a travelling man, that's what I do. I travel all over the world. And it's a Tyson Fury roadshow. He's just a sideshow on my roadshow. And after here, we'll stop off somewhere near you. Who knows? We might be coming to, I don't know where we're going to go next, Frank, after we beat Wilder. Emmanuel Stewart always went on about going to Antarctica and doing a fight there. So maybe we go there and do a massive fight.
Thank you.
Tyson,
100%.
how would you rate the challenge of Wilder compared to fighters you've already beaten, Wladimir Klitschko, for example?
Yeah, well, if we compare them both together, it's a Klitschko had a lot better boxing ability and was much more dangerous and calculated and correct. Where Deontay will take more risks and he's more vulnerable to being stopped when he throws big punches. All big punchers, in order to get the power in their shots, they must put maximum leverage in them. And if it doesn't connect, they expose themselves to being hit back with harder punches. And that's why 99% of big punchers can't take one back, because they're loading up. Doesn't mean they've got bad chins, but when you put everything into a punch and you miss, you take one back, it's almost like double impact. So that's how I compare them both. His footwork is terrible. I've seen better footwork on a lunchtime dinner lady. But his power is equaliser. He does have an equaliser because he has a massive punch. And as we've seen, he can end the fight from round 1 to round 12. But as long as I'm focused for the full duration of the fight, I don't see him landing them big punches at all.
Tyson, this is for you and your team. I know you fought here once before against, I think, Stevie Cunningham at the Garden. Are you going to have a say in possibly who the judges are, just in case? Most of us don't think it'll go there, that if it goes the distance, that you might not get a fair shake.
Neutral. We've agreed that. Everybody's been sorry. The judges are all neutral. We agreed that. That was part of making this happen. There was no problems from the other side on that. We did it, and that's how it should be. Then it takes all the problems that we get in judging out of fights. They're neutral judges. Everybody agrees to them. Everybody's happy. And if it goes to points, the best man, Tyson, will win.
Have you agreed on any judges yet?
No, it's too soon yet. But we'll get the pool of judges in the next few weeks, and then we'll make our minds up this week.
Thank you.
There's a rematch clause, I believe, in your fight.
We can't discuss the terms of the contract. It's confidential.
If you beat Wilder, are you looking for AJ next? Do you think there could be public pressure to say this man did it and we need to get AJ to fight? And of course, that should probably be the biggest fight if either one of you wins. So can you shed a little light on that, Tyson?
To be honest, I only take one fight at a time. I'm taking Deontay Wilder very, very, very seriously, as I should. And I can't look at any other fights, and I don't really care about any other fights. This is my gold medal fight, and it's the one I've been gunning for a long time. Deontay Wilder ain't been chasing me down all over the world, not once. But I've been chasing him down since 2015, the end of 2015. I've been hunting him down like a lion stalking his prey. We had an encounter in Brooklyn in 2016, and ever since then I've been hunting him down. I've got my opportunity. I selected him. He didn't select me. And I believe this is my time, my era. And that's why I'm going to win.
So Wilder has the WBC belt, you're the lineal champion, and AJ has all the other belts. Would you consider this fight the man to beat at heavyweight division? I mean, I already know you consider yourself that. Wilder considers himself that. But would you say this winner is the man to beat, even though AJ has all the other belts?
Listen, yeah. I'm already number one, so I don't need to beat Deontay Wilder to prove that, because I'm the lineal champion, so I can't move up any more spaces. But if he beats me, he can become number one. But if I beat him, I stay where I am. The belts that AJ has are only belts he picked out the garbage tin, because they were all given to him by me. Every single one of them. So them belts have no interest to me. I already have all of them belts in my front room, all in a cabinet, nicely displayed. The only one I'm missing is the green one, which I'm going to get on December the 1st. So yeah, the belts are unimportant, them ones. I'm only interested in one more belt, that's the green one. And that's the one I'm taking on. And does it matter who's number 2 or number 3? No. The only position I'm interested in is first. And that's it.
This might be a question for Ben as much as you. Obviously against Pianetta and Safari coming back, there was a big emphasis on shifting the weight and shaking off the rust. You've described Wilder as a skinny 200-pound guy. Is there any further emphasis on losing even more weight to get down to that, or are you quite happy with the level you're at and the shape?
It's all about performance. It's all about performance, and obviously talking about weight, we're not going to go into detail, but we know what we've got to do to win the fight, and it's not for us to sit here and talk about how. It's just about going out there on December the 1st and doing the job.
We have about 5 Hey, Tyson, in your opinion, how important is mental warfare before the battle that takes place in the ring?
I think it's very, very important. And it's a very good question. How important is the mental side of boxing? Well, let me explain this. It's that important where I've been in a gym at 400 pounds and sparred 15 rounds back to back because I told myself I could do it. And the guys I was working with had 6 packs, been training for 10 weeks, and they was tired after 3 or 4 rounds. So I believe boxing is 99% mental side. It's all in the mind. And if you believe you can do something, then you will do it. And this is how I win my fights. I will myself to win over and over again. And I almost get inside the opponent's minds. I'm living in Wilder's mind now, rent-free. Before he goes to bed at night, he thinks about me. When he wakes up in the morning, he thinks about me. When he looks in the mirror, he thinks about me. And he might say I'm a fat loser or whatever he might say, but deep down, he knows he's in for his hardest fight. And he's got to bring his best to beat me, because anything else is not going to win. And I'm in the same boat. If I don't bring my A game, B or C, and I'm knocked out, I know that. So that's why I'm going to lock myself away in Big Bear for the next 8 weeks. I'm going to train really hard, I'm going to work on the game plan, and I'm going to execute it perfectly. The only person who can beat me, and I've said it for a long, long time, is myself. I always have a self-destruct mission. And this is the only time, not a lot of people know this, but going into this fight is the only time I've been actually match fit. Because I've had 2 fights back to back. Although it wasn't against the world's best fighters, I've still had 2 training camps going into a massive fight where before fighting Klitschko, I only had 1 fight in like 18 months going into the fight, inactivity. Fighting Derek Chisora, I had 14 months out the ring after Steve Cunningham in 13. I was supposed to fight David A a couple of times, I had another 11 months out. So I've never been into a fight match fit. So this time I'm going in off two fights. So we're probably going to see the best Tyson Fury here. And where we haven't seen before. I don't want this to be a night of excuses for Deontay Wilder like everybody else makes. Even Klitschko made that many excuses after the fight. It was unreal. They said to him, have you broke your right hand because you didn't throw it? He just said, I couldn't get it off, it wasn't my night. It wasn't his night because it wasn't Chisora's night, it wasn't Hammer's night, it wasn't Cunningham's night. Not because they had bad nights, but because I'm a better boxer. We've seen many, many hard punchers in the past fight heavyweights, and 95% of the time, the better boxer will always win. I was on ESPN earlier, and one of the guys, he made me quite upset because he said, Larry Holmes was a terrible heavyweight, and I was like, what? He's my top 3 heavyweight of all times. The guy's chat was amazing, his boxing ability was great. He wasn't the biggest puncher in the world, but he could add the sweet science off to a T. And I don't believe today, in our era, that the coaches, they know about a thing called sweet science. It's all about lifting weights and being strong. But when you meet somebody who understands that and has studied it for a long, long time, you know, right, I'm in trouble here. I wouldn't come over to America and be this confident and say all these things if I didn't believe I was going to win wholeheartedly. Because if I go in there and get knocked out, I'm going to look a right mug. Like I don't know what I'm talking about and I've got no clue about boxing. But I'm not confident in beating these fellas that I say all this and put myself under that much pressure to perform. So they think that I go in there and do it because I know I can. And the 2.5 years out is only going to equal up a little bit because I was leagues in front of him to start with. So the 2.5 years he's had a few more fights and gained a bit more experience. Gives him that little bit more than he had before, so it's going to be a bit more even, but I still believe it's a 60-40 fight my way. And he's got a puncher's chance, like every other heavyweight, but can he land it? I don't think he can.
Tyson, just to clarify something you said before, do you feel even going into training camp for this fight that you're already in better condition than you were when you fought Klitschko?
A lot of people don't know this, but I had to lose 110 pounds going into the Klitschko fight. 110 pounds. I felt weak. I didn't feel great. I wasn't having a great night. We didn't see a vintage Tyson Fury, but it was still good enough to beat a legend of boxing. This time, I'm already on weight. I'm 258 pounds as I sit here. I'm going to box at 255 or something like that. So I'm going into training camp on weight. This is not a weight loss mission. I I'm already down. I've already been training since January for the build-up of this fight. He's going to get the best Tyson Fury ever. I don't have to go and lose all that energy and lose all that weight. It's already gone, and I've been maintained at this weight now for 7 or 8 months. So I'm going to be working on strength, and I'm going to work on game plans. I'm not going to overtrain and leave it all in Big Bear. This is the mistake fighters make at this level. They think if you train harder, you're going to fight harder. But you can only be so fit in a boxing fight. It's not about who's the fittest man or who punches the hardest or who's the strongest. Because Mr. Olympia would be heavyweight champion of the world. It's about boxing skill. That's why we call it boxing. That's what he's going to see. A whole lot of skill in there on the night.
Right? We're done. Thank you. We're going to go to this on TV right now.
Thank you, guys.